Misunderstandings that cause us pain. Misunderstandings that cause us pain. Clarified by truth to bring love again. Clarified by truth to bring love again.
الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على خاتم النبيين أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الصلاة والسلام عليك يا رسول الله
الصلاة والسلام عليك يا رسول الله
وعلى آلك وأصحابك يا حبيب الله
وعلى آلك وأصحابك يا حبيب الله
الصلاة والسلام عليك يا نبي الله
الصلاة والسلام عليك يا نبي الله
وعلى آلك وأصحابك يا نور الله
وعلى آلك وأصحابك يا نور الله.
that being grateful and showing love to your parents, or showing love and being grateful to your children, not just with words but with actions. I would like you to continue on with that. That sometimes we find that, yeah, Dad, I love you. Oh, yeah, I love you. Beta, I love you. But there's no connection there. There's no sitting down together. But they finally find the time eventually to sit down with each other. Now that they're sitting down, they're looking at each other, and he's looking around, and the dad is saying, pick this up, put this there, pick this up, ye karo, wo karo. And the son, he wants to go on his phone. So they find the time, but it's not with the actions, it's just with words. What do you say about this?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Misunderstandings, it's a very huge topic, especially between the parents and children. And what you mentioned about being grateful, for example, being grateful for your parents. We do cover, alhamdulillah, and the silsila both sides. So we're not just covering one side where you, as a child, needs to be grateful to his parents. Also, parents can also be grateful towards their children as well. So, inshallah, we'll learn this. But first of all, understanding what is meant by being grateful. Right? A lot of things we think that, we're doing it. But how do you be grateful? How do you be thankful? It's like repaying back when you're being grateful for something as well, in the same way. Or it's also actually mentioning it that the reason of being grateful as well. A number of things can come into this about being grateful. So the children being grateful for their parents. I think for that, it's like you are actually, when you are being grateful to your parents, is not complaining about them, not moaning about them, not saying, they haven't done anything for me, not saying, look, they're never there when I needed them. These are all things of ungratefulness, right?
What if it's true?
What is true?
What if it's true? If it's true that they just haven't done that,
they haven't been there for you. Sometimes it's how we think. Maybe they were there. Maybe we weren't there. I'll give you an example. Just what happened yesterday was I went to pick up my son. He was teaching, so I went to pick him up, and when I got there, I just waited around thinking that he will come out and stuff like this, and he didn't come out. So I called him, and I found that he was at home and he wasn't well, right? But if my son could just be maybe thinking that my father's never picked me up. He's never. I just came to my mind, just like this. He might be thinking that my father's never picked me up, but he's picked up my brother because after that I went and picked up my other child. So he could be thinking that I've never picked him up, but in actual reality, I was there, but he wasn't there. Or I was there, he didn't see me, or he missed out. So sometimes we're talking about misunderstandings. This is where the misunderstandings are built. You know, alhamdulillah, parents are always trying from their sides. It's another thing that they are tied up in their time, try to earn a livelihood for you, for your future, for your development. They are making this effort. They are bringing the food and placing it on the table. They are bringing, and we are spending what they are earning today. So sometimes if that misconception or misunderstanding, you can say, that they're never there for us. They are there for us. Sometimes we don't see it, or we miss out on them being there for us. Right? There are times where our parents go out of their way to think or do things for us, and we didn't see it. We missed it. Why? It could be because of something we didn't, something because of our laziness, or sometimes our focus is needed. Like I mentioned in the other silsila before about that one piece of bread, the top layer of bread which is harsh. We've never seen that. Why? It's never come to our mind. That what happens to that top piece of bread, that hard piece of bread? Because our parents remove that and they give us the softer piece. Because we haven't seen it, now I've mentioned it on the channel. Maybe a lot of people say, oh, reality. You might even get you thinking, really, I don't remember eating that. Right? Because your mother will remove it, your father will remove it, and then you will end up eating. They will give you that softer tone. And sometimes you find that the chapati or the bread, the outer layer of the bread, our parents sometimes even remove that. Why? Because it's hard. They give us the soft piece, and they'll be eating it themselves. Right? Sometimes, leftover of the food in our plate. Right? The mother is eating it, the father is eating it. And we don't see that. We don't realize that this is something they do, and then we say, oh, what have they done for us, or what they are doing for us?
An example of this came to mind, that we see the sun, and we see the sun rising, and we see the sun in the day, and we acknowledge it. We say the sun is there. But in the night, do we say that the sun is non-existent? We don't say that.
No.
Because we know the sun is there.
Yes.
But it's just shining its light in a different manner now. That the light is reflecting off the moon. But it's the same sunlight. It's the same light of the sun. It's just in a different way. But if someone at night, he says, I know the moon is there, but I know the sun doesn't exist. It's not the case, because the light that is reflecting from the moon is actually from the sun. And so when we see all these blessings that we have, we say, yeah, I have this, I've got this. Yeah, I'm a big man, but where did you get all of this from? From the same...
It's like, sometimes you say the parents don't give you time, but think about it, the time which they are earning for you, this is actually a time which they are giving you in some way or another, because they are making that money so that they can put food for you on the plate. They are making that money so that they can dress you up nice. They are making that money so that they can pay for your education. They are making that money. If you think they're not giving you time, in reality they are giving you that this time which is for you. But they are earning. Right? Think about it. Sometimes I say to people, go and look at your father's shoes. Go and look at your father's shoes. You'll find that it's the same pair which he was wearing 2 years ago. It's the same pair which he's wearing 3 years ago. Yet what is your demand? Every Eid you want a new pair. Right? Every Eid you want a new trainers, new shoes, new trousers. Your father is coping with that same pair, and yet he's spending on you to give you something new. In the same way, your jacket. Your father may only have one jacket, right? You see him in that same jacket, and then you're mourning and complaining, Dad, you're only wearing one jacket. Sometimes the child even says it, not realizing the thing behind it. Sometimes your father doesn't have money in his account, right? He makes arrangements just for you you don't see this. And the children don't see this. Sometimes they make that arrangements from elsewhere. It reminds me of the story of Sayyidina Umar bin Abdul Aziz. When his daughters came to Sayyidina Umar bin Abdul Aziz, they came to him and they said, Father, we want to wear some new clothes on Eid. Who is Umar bin Abdul Aziz? He's the Khalifa of the Muslims. He's the ruler of the Muslims. He's the ruler of these lands. His daughters are coming to him and they're asking him for new clothes. This is also another thing of tarbiyat here as well. Look, a king, a ruler can keep his daughter in such a way that they don't have new clothes to wear on Eid. They have to come to him, that they have to ask him for new clothes. The daughters came to him and he says, I don't have no money. Right? I'll get you next Eid or the following Eid or whatever. I don't have. So he goes to his treasurer, right? He doesn't directly say to his daughters, I don't have no money, but he goes to his treasurer and he says to the treasurer, give me 1 month's money in advance, right? And the treasurer was a wise and a pious man also. And he says, look, Hazur, can you guarantee me your life? He says, no. Jazakallah, thank you for advising me. He goes back to his daughters and he says, my daughters, wash them clothes and rewear them. Right? Look, this is the Khalifa of the Muslims. But again, when the children go to the parents, look at, he's going out of his way to do something. And every parent is like this. Right? Although there's 2 aspects of this story, 2 lessons to be learned. Right? One is that Khalifa of the Muslim doesn't have, this. Think about it, your father is or your mother is not the ruler of the Muslims. They're not the leader of the Muslims. They're not the king. And still they are providing for you. Still they are giving you money. They're giving you clothes. Every Eid, all your needs are being fulfilled because of their hard work and their effort. Right? All this is fulfilled. Right? And even sometimes you'll probably find that when I mentioned about look at your father's shoes, you probably find the shoe has a hole in it. Your father is still wearing it, right? But he's never said no to you. Your mother is still wearing them same clothes, but she's never said no to you. Yeah, this is how parents are. And you will only realize when you will become a parent. I tell you, you realize then that when you will see what you have to do for your children, the struggle you have to go for your children. Sometimes you put away your desires, you put away your feelings just for your children. And this is what parents are. This is what parents do. This is how parents, and this is natural love of parents. And for a child to just come out and say, look, they haven't done nothing for me, they're never there for me. Right?
Sometimes what happens is, you said that father's not said no to you, even though he's made a lot of sacrifices. And going back to the point that, we can't see it sometimes. And that's what the children complain. They say, my dad said no to me. It's not that he's never said no to me. I wanted that, but he said no. I wanted this, and he said no, we can't afford it. What about that? I saw other people, getting these game consoles or these nice new phones. Whenever the new phone will come out, my friends got it. Why can't I have it? They have nice belts and they've got nice watches and all of this stuff. I can't have it. He said no to me. What about this?
Regarding no, you will find that sometimes your friends can say no to you.
Okay.
Sometimes the nearest people can say no to you.
But why is it that in the case of friends we...
right, it's okay, it's acceptable. Yeah. Right? But if your father says no, it's a threat.
Yeah, it's my right.
Right? It's my right. It's just childish behavior sometimes. Your father said no. Yeah, obviously... even behind that no, there are so many yeses. This is what I would say. Behind that one no, there are 100 of yeses. Right? The father tried, he's made an effort. You don't know, he's never told you this. Right? Like Sayyidina Umar bin Abdul Aziz, before he said no to his daughters, he went to the treasurer. He asked him for 1 month's wage in advance. When he knew that he couldn't provide them, he came to his daughters and told them to wash the old clothes and wear them. So sometimes we see that no, and behind it, there's 100 yeses.
Do you think, sometimes parents need to disclose these things that the children can't see? He can't see that. So how can we blame the child then?
I think sometimes even that is difficult, because sometimes the nature of parents, right, it's such that they will hide their feelings.
Why is that?
Right, and sometimes it's actually mentioned regarding a father more, that a father he has immense love for his child, but he will never show it. But so you'll find that a mother will still be kissing that child, she'll be still showing that love, but the father probably doesn't show it. It's you can say it's part of a nature of
human nature
of a man, right? Just like there are certain things in your nature, right? Sometimes you probably find that in the nature of a child, normally, especially in today's time, you never say thank you to your parents. So why don't you say thank you on everything they give you? Because they're providing you. You should be saying thank you. And then you are complaining that they don't show their feelings, or sometimes a father doesn't show, because that's like his nature. Like it's not your nature to say thank you over everything to your parents. Yet you say thank you to your teacher. You say thank you to your friend. You say thank you to people in the office. Right? They bring you a cup of tea once in the entire life, and you turn around and say thank you. Your mother brings you that cup of tea every day. When did you say thank you to her?
SubhanAllah. Right? Just take this point. Some viewer may have, because I'm from London, you're from Birmingham, mashallah. So in London, we don't say thank you to our friends. They say, they say love. So they would spot each other and they say love. But that is also a form of gratitude. It's a form of showing that you appreciated what the other person has done for you. And just because you say that, it doesn't mean you're not saying thank you. So it's not something which is awkward to say thank you to your parents. But how should this thank you be to the parents? Should it just be like
just on the Mother's Day and the Father's Day?
Just write them a card and
right, say thank you. To be serious, to be honest, this type of we've made it in this way, and probably Western culture is like this. And you say thank you once a year. Even that is not come from the heart. Right? Saying thank you or you meaning it, there's many ways of it. Expressing your love, expressing your feeling, expressing even that smile toward your parents can be a means of thanks. Right?
No, there's a virtue of that, isn't it? That if you look at your parents with a loving gaze,
accepted Hajj, Hajj Mabrur, accepted Hajj. So it's looking at doing the ziyarat of your parents is a means of acceptance.
I met this brother, and he was telling me that he would look at his parents, and then he would look away, then he would look at them again, and then look away, and then they said, well, what are you doing? The parents said, what were you saying? I'm getting one Hajj and then another Hajj reward, and then the reward for another Hajj, so like this. So should we have these sort of, loving moments of expressing our love to our parents, and how should we do it? And likewise for the parents, how should they, you said the father, he doesn't show his love, but we see that the Prophet ﷺ, he did show love. When Sayyidatuna Fatima radiallahu ta'ala, she would walk in, the Prophet ﷺ would stand up and he would make her sit. These little things that we overlook, do you think these are important? And if so, how do both sides, how should they go about expressing it with their actions and not just with their words?
Yeah, it's not that the father doesn't show his love at all. Alhamdulillah, when you were a child, his father was kissing you.
Yeah, but I don't remember.
Right, you don't remember. That's another thing.
He's got to show it to me when I can remember it.
Right, so he Alhamdulillah, even now, sometimes, at moments he will meet you, but what you don't realize is sometimes his expression is through his du'as. Right? Because a father or a mother, they will always supplicate for their children. That supplication is always there for the children. And today we are standing on our feet, or we are in a form of success in any means or way or another. It's the supplications, the du'as of our parents. So sometimes, we think that it's not there. If you were ever to find your parents in a room and sitting on the prayer mat, you will find them that they will be making dua for you. They will be worried about you. And the time when you are not home on time, right? And the time's gone over, you see the feeling of your parents. Sometimes we think that they don't express their love, but the love is so deep, right? It's nothing something which is expressed at all the times. Sometimes, love it's a very strange thing. To understand what love is, you are not able to understand it, because expression of it is in different forms. I normally give an example of expression of love of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. If you look at the lives of the Sahaba and the awliya, and you look at the expression of love towards Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it was all in a different form. They all did it in different, unique forms and ways. So you cannot understand love, right? Sometimes we think that they're not, parents don't love us. You don't know how their love is coming to you, in which way it's coming to you, in which form it's coming to you, whether it's in their du'as or whether it's in their heart or whether it's their concern. You mentioned earlier on about no. They say no to you. Even that no is a means of love sometimes. We don't realize, we don't think, it's like your father says to you, be home at this time. You say, no, I'm gonna come at this, and he'll say no to you. Why? Your mother is saying this no to you. Why? Because she's concerned maybe after this time he might get in the wrong company, or he might end up getting, because this is the concern. That no is a concern for you.
It's about your safety.
It's about your safety and by your security, right? So even we think it's a no, but in actual fact, that no is it's a way, it's love there as well. And not every no is bad. That no because they know. Right? That no is because they know what things are in life, what's happening around us. We don't know. We think we know it all. Right? Your experience is what, 20 years, 15 years? Your parents' experience is double your life. 50,
but
60 years.
From a young person's point of view, is okay, fine, they have so much experience, mashallah, that's great. But they just don't understand how we are going. And you mentioned with regard to that we don't understand sometimes how parents are showing love. But sometimes what happens is every person, they have a way of loving. They have a way of the way they want to be loved. Likewise, parents, they have a certain way they want to be loved. Well, shed some light on this, that how they understand that my dad will want another way of me showing my love to him, and my mum will want another way of me showing my love to him. Likewise, the parents to their children, that this child, he likes to be shown love in this manner. Even though, fine, yes, that you care about his safety and everything, but showing him the way that he wants it, so that it's acceptable to him. What about this?
Yes, it's definitely, parents need to know how to, there are certain things of the children which as a form of love. And the children also need to know about parents in the form of love. For example, I normally say to you, parents are unique in the sense that they are satisfied with so little. And on the other hand, you find the children normally, in normal cases, are not satisfied with so much. Right?
Okay.
Parents are sometimes satisfied with you just sitting and speaking to them, or sitting with them, just being in their company, or even giving them a smile. Right? Oh, I tell you that even once in your entire life you were to bring your mom clothes, that will be such a day of Eid for her. Right? Think about it. When did you last do it? When did you last bought your parents, your father a jacket, or your mother some clothes, or your father some shoes, or anything like this?
I'll give you a counterpoint on that. That, for example, someone bought his dad something, and because of the dad's experience in the past, he's worked his way up, and he understands the value of money. Now you've gone and bought him a nice branded jacket, and he's like, I could have bought the same thing for £15, which you have bought me for £300. I could have bought a better quality one for £15-20, and he says that in front of the child. Now how should the dad react like that, and should the child, what should he do after this?
See, here both sides need to ponder over this. It's not just one side, it's both sides need to. First of all, the father needs to ponder over this, that sometimes a child, when he's done something out of love for you, accept it.
Accept it.
Accept it. Right?
But it's so much. It's wasted. It's too much. We don't live like this. Why has he done this?
Maybe you can put it on your own account, in the sense that the father can put it on his own account, that he didn't teach him how to spend the money in the right way. Right? It's accepted. At times you should learn to accept things like this. Even that you might think, okay, it's not against Sharia here. We're talking about a gift. So he's bought you a gift. Accept it, show him that love, show him that expression, wear it, so he feels that, mashallah.
Because I've some interactions with some people, my father doesn't, and I gift him something, he doesn't even show his happiness. He doesn't show his, even though he may be happy inside, he's not showing it with his face. Can you blame the child for not understanding if the father is not showing it?
So you can't say, you can't say the parents need to understand this. So like I mentioned, like we're not talking from one side of a view. So sometimes the parents need to understand this as well. If they've been bought a gift, then appreciate that. Even maybe wear it in front of them, or maybe show them that I'm wearing this, or I've accepted this, or you bought your father a watch. Even that he doesn't wear a watch, but he wears it, he wears it in front of his child, just to show that my son's bought me this. Or even that once off he says in front of someone else, my son's bought me this, right? This will make him happy. This is enough. So parents need to do this, and in the same way, a child needs to keep this in mind. That there were times when your father bought you something, your mother bought you something, and you said, "Dad, what's this?" Right? Sometimes
and they say, "Oh, don't worry, son, I'll give you a new one."
Sometimes it's like I remember there was a very very funny incident. One happened. The fathers bought the son some shoes, and the son turns around and he says, "Dad, you bought me chappal, you bought me flip flops," and he's bought him leather shoes, proper, it was very comfortable shoes. That's because they were flat. Now the son is saying, "Look, you bought me flip flops, so you bought me some chappals, right? What am I supposed to be doing with this?" And you think about it, there were times when your parents bought you things, you didn't accept it, right? If you didn't accept it today, they didn't accept it, there's no harm. Maybe they have accepted it, you didn't realize it either. To be honest with you, children don't buy their parents gift. We don't go out there and buy our parents something. First of all, you need to understand what your parents like, right? You buy your 60, 70-year-old father a jacket like one of the youngsters will wear, right? Your father ain't gonna wear that, is he? You might say, "Oh, Dad, this is the right thing for you." So basically, you sometimes think that your father didn't show his appreciation. It could be that, look, what you gotta understand is there's a difference in age. What you might be buying him might not be suitable. I tell you, I'm a father, and my children, and this is with understanding. My children know that not to buy me anything just like this randomly. If they want to buy me something, they will probably have to go, because I will have certain things which I will wear, or certain things which I will adopt. I won't have everything. And even like most of my family know this, so they will know.
How did they know this?
Because there's an understanding.
Where did that come from?
Because they know when I go shopping, I will only buy certain things in a certain way. So even if you were to go shopping with your parents, you were able to know what sort of things they buy. Even if the thing is, you don't even look at the dress code of your parents. You don't even look at the sort of shoes your father wears, right? Or what type of shoes you buy your father a shoes which has shoelaces, and your father, normally, if you look at his shoes, he's the ones you get into it comfortably without shoelaces. Then obviously he's not going to accept that, or he's going to find it difficult to adopt or appreciate.
Now, to come to this point, you said there's a certain way you would buy things, and certain things that you would buy. Now, of course, mashallah, your family would have observed that, but we don't observe. Just looking at the other person's nature, trying to figure out, how does my father think? How does my child think? How does my mother think? And I would like to come back to this point that we're so busy on our phone. Even when we're shopping with our mum, you just carry the trolley, and he's on his phone, and the mother's actually doing everything, and he's on his phone, and he's scrolling. And he doesn't know how his mother is buying the stuff. What is she looking at? The price? What is she looking at? Likewise, for the parents, that if, for example, the parent and the child, they do manage to sit with each other finally, father isn't understanding and the mother isn't understanding because she's too busy on her phone. And this is not just limited to teenage children. Even when the child is young, perhaps in our modern time, the mother would put on the TV for her, for the child, and go off and watch YouTube herself. So where should we be observing a bit more of our surroundings rather than observing all around the world?
Think about it. If we can observe the surrounding of the entire world, right? Why can't we observe a handful of people who are living in our home, right? Our parents, our siblings, our brothers, our sisters. Why can't we just observe them and what they like and understand them? Look, it's not rocket science. It's nothing very difficult to know what sort of nature a person is. Look. You spend a bit of time with someone, and the perfume he puts on, you will know that this is his sort of taste of perfume. Right? You spend a 3 days kafila with someone in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you travel in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you will learn this. You spend time with someone in the office, you will learn this, what sort of perfume he likes, what sort of fragrance he likes, what sort of nature he is. You learn this within few days, right? So why can't we understand our parents, knowing what they like or what they don't like, right? It's it's the same thing as getting your mother clothing which the girls of today wear, and your mother is not going to wear that. She's not going to accept that, because you have to understand what sort of clothing. And sometimes the children sort of force it upon their parents is, well, no, mom. I think the daughters do this a lot more than the sons, but they normally buy their mother the clothes, because the sons, this is what I'm talking about, the difference. Sons don't normally do that. You find the daughters doing this in our society normally, but sometimes there are sons which do this and the daughters don't do this as well. So, but whichever way it is, and sometimes you get that they are doing this. That no, I want you to wear this. Right, because the mother, she's trying to put on those clothes onto her mother, which she likes to wear. Right, and you think about it, there's an age difference, there's a culture difference, there's a time difference, and the period of time they lived in, and even with you'll find that when the clothes which you were wearing 10 years ago, you're not wearing them today. Why? Your style has changed. Right? Maybe the car you were driving 5 years ago, you're not driving it today. Why? Your style has changed, your way have changed. So learn to accept this, that they have changed as well. So in the same way, parents need to understand this as well. As children are going older, there will be a changing in their life. Right? They're not the 5-year-old which whichever clothes you make him wear, he will wear. No, he's obviously grown up now. And parents need to understand that what sort of mu'azzaz, respectable clothing, or anything which is the society is wearing, and to have that and to bring that for them. You can't wear a in the West here. You see that we are so in the form of jubbas or this type of dressing. But if you tell us to wear salwar kameez or the Asian clothing, or maybe even the turban, right? We weren't able to adjust to it, right? It's because we were not lived in that culture. With age you don't get into this. So why force it upon someone?
Just to come back to that point, mashallah, and we'll end up here, inshallah, with this episode. That the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we learned this from his seerah, that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he would talk to the people according to their intellect. If we take this point of the seerah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that كَلِّمُوا النَّاسَ عَلَى قَدْرِ عُقُولِهِمْ, and talk to the people according to their intellect. Subhanallah. If we have this ability to do this, subhanallah, who would we end up?
Subhanallah. And this is a very strong point, actually. Knowing I think this is a whole discussion on this which you can go into, is making that decision according to the nature of people is one. And if you look at our Shaykh al-Tariqat, Amir Sunnah, the founder of Dawat Islami, Hazrat Abu Bilal Muhammad Ilyas Qadri, Damat Barakatum al-Aliyah, he has also adopted this.
I was just thinking of that.
Look at where he said, like, this culture of people, they will wear a certain shawl, because it's them people, and he would wear it just to show them happiness. Right? That's their culture. They will feel. I remember going to a part of Pakistan where they came with this shawl and they made me wear it, and it was like a pride, a great thing, and they greet the guest in this sort of way. And our Sheikh, he did the same thing with, even some people wear certain types of hats, or certain type of clothing, and to adopt their way, their method. Why? Because that's their culture. As far as it doesn't go against Sharia, it doesn't go against the rulings of Islam, it's permissible and it's a good culture, it's a respected manner, then it should be adopted. So this again, understanding different people. Some people will wear light clothes, bright clothes, right? And some cultures they will wear darker clothes, or every culture will have their own nature and their own way. So understanding this, in the same way understanding your parents, in the same way understanding your children. This is very, very important, and it's again something which we can talk in a lot of detail, inshallah.
May Allah allow us to take these points on and focus and really reflect. Many viewers might, after this program ends, they'll get their phone out, but just take 2-3 minutes, my dear viewers of Madani Channel. Take 2 or 3 minutes And instead of nudging, your father, like, Dad, look what are they saying about you, and Dad nudges his son and he says, no, look, he's talking about you. Instead of doing that, just take 2 minutes and let's look at ourselves and let's reflect how much of these things am I trying to do? How observing am I about my parents? How observing am I about my children? Allah give us the ability to understand. Keep watching Madani Channel. We'll see you in the next episode. Sallu ala al-Habib, sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
Misunderstandings that cause us pain. Misunderstandings that cause us pain. Clarified by truth to bring love again. Clarified by truth to bring love again.